You arrive on a planet sculpted from logic. Its name is Xylos. The air itself feels ordered, still and silent. Towers of polished gray stone rise to calculated heights. They do not soar with ambition. They simply exist with perfect purpose. The people move with the same flawless design. They are the somber, a tall, slender species dressed in simple, functional robes. Their faces are blank canvases, unmarked by laughter or tears. They glide along pristine pathways. Each step is deliberate. Each action is efficient. They are a civilization perfected into silence. You stand by your landing craft, a vessel of noisy, messy humanity. You are a disruption in their perfect equation. They watch you from a distance. Their large, dark eyes are not hostile. They are analytical. They see you as a problem to be solved. You are here to open relations, a standard first contact mission. But you quickly realize their dictionary is missing some words. Words like joy, spontaneity, and mirth. They have engineered emotion out of their existence, and they seem quite content with the quiet. They approach you with a calm, unnerving grace. An honor guard of 4 leads you toward the central spire. Their concern is palpable. You feel it in the way they keep their distance. You see it in the faint hum of the diagnostic tools in their hands. You offer them a smile. It is your most basic tool of diplomacy. The gesture is meant to show peace, to show harmlessness. But to the somber, it is a horrifying symptom. Several of them take a half step back. Their faces, usually placid, show a flicker of alarm. An elder glides to a stop before you. His name is Elder Vash. He regards you with the expression of a doctor examining a patient. Your facial muscles are spasming, he says. His voice is a low melodic monotone. There is no judgment in it, only diagnosis. It's called a smile, you try to explain. It's a good thing. It means I am happy. Elder Vash tilts his head. The gesture is one of pure intellectual curiosity. This happiness appears to be a neurological ailment, an involuntary muscular contraction. We believe we can help you. They do not want to hurt you. They want to cure you of your joy. You are being escorted to a sterile observation chamber. Elder Vash walks beside you. He explains their history with a detached clarity. Emotions were inefficient. They led to conflict and wasted energy. So they were removed, like a faulty component in a grand machine. The pathways are impossibly smooth, like walking on a surface of black glass. There are no imperfections, no cracks or debris. It is a testament to their obsession with order. This is why the stumble is so shocking. Your foot, trained and steady, catches on absolutely nothing. You pitch forward with an undignified squawk. Your arms flail wildly, a chaotic pinwheel of motion. You manage to catch yourself before you face plant, but you end up in a clumsy, tangled heap on the pristine floor. For a moment, there is only the ringing silence of their judgment. Then you hear it. A sound this world has forgotten. It is a sharp, choked gasp of air, a bark of noise that has no logical purpose. You push yourself up and look toward the source. A young somber, a youth, is staring at you. Her hand is clamped over her mouth in horror. Her eyes are wide with disbelief at the sound she just made. She has just produced the planet's first chuckle in a millennium. The others somber freeze. Every head turns. They stare at the youth. Then they stare at you, the source of this sudden chaos. The disease of your presence was already starting to spread. You are declared a biological threat, not of microbes, but of emotion. Your condition is clearly contagious. The youth who chuckled is taken away for decontamination. You are escorted to a quarantine chamber. The room is white, seamless, and utterly silent. The door closes with a soft, final hiss. It seals you away from this fragile, logical world. They are not punishing you. They are protecting themselves from a dangerous idea. The idea that not everything needs a purpose. The idea that sometimes things are just funny. They watch you through a transparent wall. Teams of their best minds observe your every move. They record your vital signs. They analyze your speech patterns. They are trying to map the disease they call mirth. They want to find its origin and its cure. You spend your time pacing the small room. You talk to them through the wall. You try to explain that joy is not a sickness. It is a strength. They listen politely. They take meticulous notes on their data slates. But they do not understand. To them, you are simply patient zero. The nights in the quarantine cell are long. The silence is absolute. It presses in on you, a physical weight. You miss the sound of your own ship's engines. You miss the sound of another human voice. You even miss the bad jokes your co-pilot used to tell. Then one night, you hear a faint scratching at the door. It is not the sound of the automated lock. It is something small and hesitant. You move closer to the door. You press your ear against the cool surface. The scratching comes again, this time more insistent. The door slides open a few inches. A small face peers into your room. It is the youth who chuckled, the one who was taken away. She is not alone. Behind her, two other young somber look on with wide, curious eyes. They are breaking every rule to be here. "We had to see you," the first youth whispers. Her voice is barely a sound. "The elders say you are unwell." But the feeling, the sound I made, it was not unpleasant. The others nod in agreement. They look at you with a desperate hope. Can you make us feel that way again?" You look at these brave, curious children. They have lived their entire lives in a world of gray purpose. They have been starved of color, of warmth, of simple, pointless fun. You know you should not encourage them. It could get them in serious trouble. But you also see the spark in their eyes. A flicker of something new, something wonderfully human. You smile, a real, genuine smile. "All right," you say softly. "Gather around. Let me tell you about something called a joke." You start with the basics, the absolute fundamentals of humor. You try to explain physical comedy. You mime walking into a wall. You pretend to slip on an imaginary peel. They watch you with intense, analytical focus. They do not laugh. They simply nod and take mental notes. The humor is derived from the unexpected outcome. One youth says, "His name is Jorik." The subject intended to proceed forward. Instead, their progress was abruptly halted. The failure of their objective is the source of the amusement. It sounds like a lab report. Not a good review for your comedy routine. You try a different approach. You attempt to tell them a simple joke. "Why did the data chip cross the road?" you ask. They stare at you blankly. "To get to the other side," you finish with a hopeful grin. Silence. Deep, profound, analytical silence. Finally, the first youth, her name is Lyra, speaks. "The premise is illogical," she says. "Data chips do not possess locomotion. They do not have sides to get to. The narrative is flawed." You realize this is going to be harder than you thought. You teach them about harmless absurdity, the foundation of so many human jokes. You explain that humor does not need a victim. It does not need failure. Sometimes, it is just about seeing the universe from a strange new angle. It is about celebrating the things that do not make sense. You show them how to make a funny face. You puff out your cheeks and cross your eyes. Lyra tries to replicate it. Her facial muscles struggle, unused to such pointless contortions. She looks utterly ridiculous. Yorick sees her, and a small snort escapes his nose. He claps his hand over his mouth, but it is too late. The second laugh has arrived on Xylos. The lessons continue in secret for several nights. Your small class of rebels grows. Soon, there are a dozen young somber crowded into your cell. They come to hear your stories of a world filled with nonsense. They practice making funny faces. They try to invent their own jokes. Their attempts are clumsy and deeply logical. A vessel approaches a star at near light speed, one begins. Its trajectory is miscalculated by 0.01%. It arrives at its destination 4 minutes late. Is this not amusing? You have to admit, you did not see that punchline coming. But then, the change begins. A small giggle is heard in a food distribution hall. A group of youths are caught trying to balance spoons on their noses. The affliction spreads like a virus. It travels through whispers in the sterile corridors. It echoes in the once silent residential blocks. The city, once a monument to quiet efficiency, is changing. You can hear it from your quarantine cell. Faint, unfamiliar sounds drift on the wind. The sounds of stifled laughter, the popping bursts of pure, unadulterated joy. For the first time in 1,000 years, the children of Xylos are learning how to play. The elders are not pleased. To them, this is an epidemic of madness. They see the wasted energy. They see the breakdown of order. Laughter is a poison corrupting their perfect society. And you are the one who brought it here. Elder Vash appears at your transparent wall. His face, for the first time, shows something other than calm analysis. It shows a deep, profound disappointment. Look at the chaos you have wrought, he says. His voice is heavy with sorrow. Our children are forgetting the path of logic. They are embracing irrationality. The streets are no longer silent. Giggles echo between the gray towers. Young somber chase each other in games that have no objective. They are rediscovering an ancient instinct, an instinct for play, an instinct for joy. The elders see only entropy, a society unraveling into meaningless noise. They declare war on mirth. Patrols are increased. Curfews are imposed. Any youth caught displaying signs of emotional contagion is taken for reconditioning. They are subjected to logic sessions. They are reminded that every action must have a purpose. Laughter has no purpose. Therefore, laughter must be purged. You are brought before the High Council. The chamber is vast and circular. Tiers of seats rise into the shadows. The most powerful elders of Xylos are all here. They sit in perfect stillness, their faces grim masks of judgment. You stand alone in the center of the floor. High Elder Roan presides over the council. His face is ancient, a roadmap of accumulated wisdom. He looks down at you with cold, clear eyes. You are accused of cultural contamination, he intones. The words echo in the cavernous space. You have infected our youth with a dangerous mental parasite, the delusion of humor. You have to defend yourself. You have to defend the very idea of joy. But how do you explain irony to a people who know only literal truth? How do you describe a pun to a species that sees words as precise tools, not toys? Laughter is not a disease. You begin. Your voice feels small in the great hall. It is a form of communication. It is a way of coping with a universe that is often illogical. A murmur runs through the council. The word illogical is a profanity to them. They believe the universe is a perfect, knowable equation. You stand before the Council of Elders. This is your trial. You must use their own weapon against them, logic. You have to prove that joy has a function, that laughter has a purpose. It is a monumental task, an almost impossible one. You believe that everything must be efficient, you say. But what is the purpose of art, of music, of looking at the stars? Art teaches us spatial relationships, an elder responds immediately. Music demonstrates mathematical patterns. Star science expands our understanding of physical laws. All have a logical purpose. They have an answer for everything. You try to explain irony, the concept of saying one thing and meaning another. You give them an example. If a transport is late, a human might say, "Well, the service is running perfectly today." We know it is not perfect. The humor comes from the contrast. They do not understand. But that statement is factually incorrect. High Elder Roan says, "It is a lie." Why would you communicate using falsehoods? It is inefficient and confusing. They see your humor as a deliberate attempt to spread misinformation. The debate rages for hours. You try to explain satire, parody, and slapstick. Each concept is met with the same wall of uncomprehending logic. They cannot see the value in something that does not directly contribute to survival or knowledge. Joy, to them, is a dead end. Across Xylos, your trial is being broadcast. The planet is watching, and it is dividing. The older generations nod in agreement with their elders. They see your ideas as a threat to their stable, predictable way of life. They fear the chaos you represent. But the youth see something different. They see a spark of life in a world of gray. They hear the promise of something more than mere existence. Families are fractured by this new idea. Parents argue with their children. The silent harmony of their society is broken. A young somber might tell a joke at the dinner table. Their parents would respond with cold silence. They would report their own child for emotional reconditioning. The desire for order was stronger than the bonds of family. The schism of a simple joke was tearing their world in two. Lyra, the first to laugh, has become a leader among the youth. She organizes secret gatherings where they share the jokes you taught them. They call themselves the Gigglers. It is a small rebellion of joy against an empire of silence. But the elders are closing in. The trial reaches its grim conclusion. High Elder Roan stands to deliver the verdict. His voice fills the chamber with an undeniable authority. You have been found guilty of destabilizing our society. You have introduced a dangerous, illogical variable into our perfect system. He then delivers the ultimatum. It is cold and absolute. You will renounce this poison of humor. You will stand before our people and declare that laughter is a flaw. You will help us purge this sickness you have created. And if I refuse, you ask. Your heart pounds in your chest. If you refuse, the High Elder says slowly, we will be forced to take drastic measures. We will round up every infected youth, every giggler. We will erase the flawed emotional pathways from their minds. They will be silenced forever. Their choice, and yours, is to be logical, or to be nothing. You are taken from the council chamber. You are brought to the great plaza. It is a vast, open space in the heart of the capital city. Every citizen of Xylos is watching, either in person, filling the plaza to its limits, or on broadcast screens across the planet. This is the stage of your final judgment. The youth who followed you are here. Lyra and Jorik and all the others. They are held in a transparent containment field. They look at you with fear, but also with defiance. They have tasted joy. They will not give it up without a fight. High Elder Roan stands on a high platform beside you. He gestures to the silent, waiting crowd. The alien has one final chance to embrace reason, he announces. One chance to undo the damage that has been done. Speak now, he commands you. Denounce the lie of laughter. This is your last stand. You have one final opportunity. You cannot win with their logic. You have already tried that. You have to show them something else. Something their equations cannot solve. You have to prove that joy is not a weakness. It is a fundamental part of being alive. You look at the faces in the crowd. The old, stern and unyielding. The young, hopeful and afraid. You take a deep breath. You will not tell them a joke. You will tell them a story aimed at the very heart of their logical world. A great logician of Xylos, you begin. Your voice is amplified across the plaza. Decided to build the ultimate machine, a thinking engine that could solve any problem in the universe. It was their civilization's greatest achievement. The elders nod. This is a story they can understand. The logician fed it every piece of data, every physical law, every historical record. The machine knew everything. So the high elder of that time came to the machine. He asked it a single, final question to test its limits. You pause. The entire planet is hanging on your words. The high elder asked the machine this. Oh, great engine, what is the one question you cannot answer? You let the paradox sink in. The crowd is utterly still. The elders on the platform begin to look uneasy. They can see the logical trap. The machine's lights flickered. Its internal processors whirred at impossible speeds. It tried to formulate a response. If it named a question, it would have answered it. If it said it could answer all questions, it would be a lie. It was a perfect, inescapable loop of illogic, a paradox at the heart of reason itself. You lean closer to the microphone. Do you know what the machine did? You ask the silent world. After 10 minutes of silent calculation, the machine began to shake. It made a strange, heaving sound. And then, the great thinking engine laughed. Silence. A deep, profound silence hangs over the plaza. You have given them a problem with no logical solution, a story that breaks their entire worldview. Their system is based on the idea that everything is knowable, solvable. But you have just shown them a crack in the foundation of everything. The elders on the platform are staring at each other. They are running the paradox in their own minds. They are trying to find the flaw, the logical escape hatch. But there is none. The story is a perfect trap. It is absurd. It is ridiculous. It is funny. Then it happens. High Elder Roan, the most logical, the most solemn of them all, makes a sound. It starts as a low rumble in his chest. His shoulders begin to shake. His stern, ancient face begins to crack. The lines of 1,000 years of seriousness begin to crumble. A loud, booming laugh erupts from the High Elder. It is a rusty, unused sound, but it is real. It echoes across the plaza, a sonic boom shattering a millennium of silence. The crowd gasps. The other elders stare in disbelief. The High Elder's laugh is contagious. One of the other elders on the platform snorts. Another lets out a nervous chuckle. It spreads like a wave through the crowd. A young somber giggles, then another. Soon the entire plaza is filled with the sound, a symphony of joy, hesitant at first, then growing into a triumphant roar. The sound that broke the silence. You leave Xylos a week later. The planet you leave behind is not the one you found. The gray towers still stand. The pathways are still pristine. But now, they are filled with color. The somber have started wearing bright sashes. They paint murals on the once blank walls. The air is no longer silent. It is filled with the sounds of chatter, of music, and of laughter. The children play openly in the plazas. The elders debate philosophy with a new lightness in their hearts. They have not abandoned logic. They have simply added a new, wonderful variable to their equation. Lyra and Jorik see you off at the launch pad. They are now official mirth advisors to the council. Their job is to help their people explore this new, emotional frontier. It is a very serious job, which they find endlessly amusing. You gave them a gift they did not know they needed. You taught a planet of logicians that the universe is not always rational. You showed them that some of its greatest truths are found in paradox, and that the only logical response to a ridiculous universe is to laugh. Your legacy will be the sound of their joy echoing among the stars.